Hello and welcome to today's session, which is all about elevating university readiness and career exploration. My name's Gareth. So when we talk about career exploration and elevating university readiness, what a lot of schools are finding at the moment is that the tools are fragmented. We have a lot of different tools aiming for the one goal of helping students find where they want to be in the future. Well, here at Mentum, what we're trying to do is unify those fragmented options into one option that can cater for all students, whether they're looking to move on to university or looking at their careers. And by doing that, we have different services to assess what the students' interests are, explore those interests, so looking at discovering their career possibilities and then taking what we found in that exploration and assessment and planning what those next steps might be. So whether that is pathway aligned career planning or even longer term career planning as well. And then we take that next step into actually learning the technical, durable, and academic skills required to reach those levels of career interest. And once we've done all that, we can then look to launch the student's career, whether that be the next step to university or in their career through work-based learning or looking at micro-credentials. And in order to do that, we have one planning platform tool that drives and underpins our work. And then we have the core instruction with real world relevance, which ties into looking at durable skills. So the skills that can last throughout the student's career, but also looking at those different career pathways so that all of the instruction that the students are doing and those durable skills can lead to a career that is interesting to them, that excites them and motivates them to keep on learning their academic skills. But like I say, underpinning all that is a platform that combines discovery, academic planning, and decision-making tools. And that tool is called MajorClarity. And I'm going to look at that today. So MajorClarity starts with a personality assessment, which you'll see here. The question is, would you enjoy performing the following activity? And a student is just asked to answer these simple questions. So the first one, sell restaurant locations to individuals. So yes, I do like that. Test the quality of parts before shipment. No. And so I would go through these and I'll go through them really quickly here, just so we can get to the end of it. And this assessment is based on the Holland Code. So what we're doing is looking for personality traits and types to see where the student's interests might be. So looking back to the slide where we talked about planning and exploring, this is the assessment piece where we find where the student's interests are. Now, my results are a little bit skewed because I rushed through the test, but you'll see that the social side, I got a lower score. So social means social people like to work with people to enlighten, inform, help train or cure them. So that's not where my personality interests lie at the moment. But I do have a strong alignment to enterprising, realistic, which is athletic ability, prefer to work with objects, machines and tools and so on. And what this is doing is attributing what my interests are to possible career exploration. So this is the first step in that idea of connecting my interests to careers, to then academic learning based on those careers. So as a school, I might start with that personality assessment and get the students doing that. The next piece for the student is the career exploration. So what that does, it takes the data that we see in the assessments and puts it towards 66 different career pathways that the student might be interested in and gives them a fit score based on the assessment. So you'll see in journalism, I've got a fit score of 90%. In mathematics, 87%, speech and language pathology, 83%. And so it puts all of those pathways into that percentage. Now I keep scrolling down, you'll see a lower percentage score to social work or early childhood education. But let's focus on some of these. So let's look at mathematics, for example. I know I'm interested in mathematics. It's a subject I really enjoy in school. So I'm going to see what kind of careers I can look at when I'm looking at mathematics. So what Major Clarity will then do is show you those different occupations and the different levels of whether that be a doctorate, a master's degree, what kind of level I'll need to reach to get some of these occupations. So maybe I know at this stage I don't want to do a doctoral professional degree. So that narrows down some of my occupations. So maybe I'm really interested in being an aerospace engineer, or maybe I'm really interested in being a mathematician, but I'd never thought about being an aerospace engineer before. So if I click on the aerospace engineer, it will then give me the common tasks that are related to that career, the work styles that are required, and even the abilities and the knowledge that I would need to get that particular interest. But then it will give me related occupations. So I'd never thought that being interested in math could lead me to being an industrial engineer or a computer hardware engineer. So maybe I can go into that and explore further. And so what Major Clarity is doing is giving the students some options based on that assessment to say, okay, I've got some interest in journalism, but I'm also interested in mathematics. Then that allows that conversation to happen with your career counsellor because they can see all of this data and see where the fit score is, see what career paths are aligned to that student and to the whole class. And that career counsellor can then start making decisions about the next step. So maybe if enough students in the class are really interested in journalism, maybe we'll bring someone in to talk about that and see if that sparks even further interest. Or maybe we need to look at some of the courses we're offering, either through with our partnership with Edmentum, we have some journalism courses, or maybe with Edmentum's online high school because we don't have someone to teach that part. So what that career counsellor then might do, looking at all of that, having that discussion with the students, will start making a career plan. So we can look at the career goals, start looking at what my goals are, what my educational goals are, what diploma type I'm looking at, whether that is advanced studies, academic, that sort of thing, what clubs and activities I'm interested in, and the test scores I'm aiming for. We can take all of that together with the career counsellor, the career exploration that we've done in the assessments, putting all of that together, we can start then making an academic plan. So we're reaching the stage now where we're getting towards, we've done our exploration, we've done our, up to that point, what next? So what Major Clarity allows the school to do is use either all of the courses that we provide, or you can input your own courses that you're doing in your school, or the electives that you provide, and then you can use our tool to make some individualized academic planning tools for that student. So this particular student, we've decided they're really interested in accounting. We've got someone in to talk to them about accounting, and this is really an interesting pathway for them. And so what I can do, I'm in 10th grade. I can add a pathway elective as part of my plan, and then get the student to add that pathway. So in 10th grade, I'm going to do accounting 1, and that adds it to my plan alongside my core courses. Then in 11th grade, I'm going to do accounting 2, but I'm also going to do another course as well. Maybe I'll put an AP course in there. And so this is something that we'll keep coming back to, both the teacher, the career counsellor, sorry, and the student will keep coming back to this personalised academic plan using the localised course options that we've put together. As an administrator, I can come in and customise the pathways that I'm provided. So I can come into accounting, click on customise, and add in the documents, add in the options for the pathway electives that I can put in. And I can even put in my own courses. Although Major Clarity puts in our own, you can come in and add in a new course so that when we're doing that planning, it's completely personalised to you. So that's a really quick look at what that sequence might be when we're looking at career exploration. And as the students are learning, maybe they need to adapt this. Actually, we're narrowing this down now, and maybe there is some sort of engineering track that I want to follow, so we can adapt this plan as we go along. When we start looking at next steps, then we can come into work-based learning. So with the work-based learning opportunities allows the school to put in their own independent work-based learning options in here. So all of the local businesses that you work with you can either input them in here and the opportunities, or you can send a safe and reliable link to the partner so that they can input the opportunities themselves. So when the student's exploring this, they can have a look at what local opportunities, so they can go in and maybe go and work for these to see if this career is something they're looking for. What they can also do is look at financial resources. So we can look at local scholarships that are available. And again, this is something the school inputs themselves. In the meantime, they're doing their learning, and that's where our courseware comes in. So we have over 500 courses available in courseware that can link to the career explorations we're doing. Um, and that's something we'll look at in another video. But what you can do with that is take those and either use our courses, or let's say you have a student who wants to do accounting, but you don't have the teachers in place, you can use our teachers in order to teach those. What we can also do is look at micro-credentials. So maybe the student's still not sure, but we want to have a look at energy. Maybe we want to look at nursing. But if we look at energy, we have a micro-credential where students can earn a non-official certificate as they explore whether they're interested in this course. So it's a course that could be done within MajorClarity, and they would answer the questions and go through to see the kind of things that would interest them. So that's something else that's available. From an administrator's point of view, like I've said before, you can customize pathways, you can start new courses. What you can also do is look at the analytics and look at reporting that's involved in this. So as students start to complete their test drives and their looks around the programs, you will see the data of what students are interested in what. So you can start to make those academic plans, those resource plans as you look to get those career types in to talk to the students. Or maybe you need to look at course provisioning if you have enough students, for example, who are interested in software programming. It really is a full tool to start that journey into career exploration, and then Edmentum can take it a step further by providing the courses that go alongside these careers. If you have any questions at all, please do let us know, and we'll be more than happy to set up some access to MajorClarity. Thank you very much for your time.